Hey everyone! Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a story like this. My name is Mia Harper, and I was 23 when everything finally clicked into place. It all went down in our family room. The one with the faded paint curling at the edges and that old ceiling fan that made a little tick every time it spun. A noise I'd heard my whole life. Something that used to feel safe. That night, it sounded like a timer running out. Mom didn't sugarcoat anything. She never has. She just pushed a thick folder across the coffee table and said, almost proud, "We used almost every dime of your savings to buy your sister her condo." The words slammed into me like ice water, but I didn't react. I just stared at her fingers tapping the folder the same way they used to tap my report cards whenever I brought home anything less than perfect. My sister Ava lounged on the couch, legs crossed like she already owned the world, and gave me this little smirk. "You're completely broke now, Mia." Then my brother Ethan chuckled low and twisted the knife deeper. "Girls like you never actually own anything. You'll be renting forever." Right then the light bulb flickered, like even the house was exhausted from putting up with them. But I didn't cry. I didn't beg. I didn't give them the quiet surrender they were waiting for. Instead, I laughed. A soft, steady laugh that made all three of them squirm because it wasn't the reaction they'd rehearsed in their heads. They had no clue I'd already pulled every important paper they'd need. They had no idea what those savings really were. And they definitely didn't know what I actually owned. But they were about to find out because the condo they just bought, it was never legally Ava's in the first place. Mom's smile slipped first. She hates anything she can't predict. She thrives on control. So when I kept smiling, she snapped, "Knock it off. You should be thankful your sister finally has a real home. You never needed that money anyway." I leaned back, feeling the faint hum of the fan overhead, its tick getting louder, like it knew something they didn't. Ava flipped her hair and rolled her eyes. "Seriously, Mia, say thank you. If we'd left that cash with you, you would have blown it." I studied her, flawless makeup, brand new phone, the silver bracelet she borrowed from me 6 months ago and never gave back. Her entitlement was practically glowing. Ethan just sprawled in his chair, smug as ever. Let her laugh. Landlords love tenants like her, quiet, broke, and grateful for crumbs. Their words didn't cut me anymore. They confirmed everything. The people who raised me never saw me as a daughter or a sister, just a backup bank account. I tapped the folder Mom had slid over, the one with the condo paperwork. Thin pages, cream-colored, edges a little bent. I knew exactly what they said and what they didn't. Mom took my silence as defeat and practically gloated. "It's already done. The deed's in Ava's name. All signed and final." I looked up, perfectly calm, because they still didn't know the one detail that changed everything. The deed they signed wasn't valid. Ava let out a nervous laugh. "What do you mean not valid? Mom signed it. The realtor signed it. The bank approved everything." I eased the folder closer, fingertips brushing the edge. "You signed the wrong deed." Mom shot up straight, all the confidence leaking out of her. "Impossible. I read every single page." She had just not the right document. I slid the papers out just enough for them to glimpse the header. Property transfer, provisional review copy. Not final. Not legal. Not binding. Ava grabbed the top sheet, scanning it, her face getting tighter with every word she didn't understand. "Why does it say review copy all over it?" Ethan shoved up from his chair, legs screeching across the floor. "Quit playing games, Mia. The realtor said it was finished." I took a slow breath. The room smelled like dust, old drapes, and that lemon polish Mom obsesses over. I let the quiet stretch before I answered. "The realtor said it could be finished once I signed too." Silence crashed down, heavy and uncomfortable. Mom's voice went soft, almost scared. "You're telling us your signature is required for this to be legal?" I nodded once. Ava swallowed hard. Ethan muttered something under his breath. And for the first time in years, the power in that room shifted. Like the air itself knew justice had finally walked in. I closed the folder neatly. "You can't take what's legally mine," I said quietly. "Not without paying for it." Their expressions changed, but I wasn't done. Mom whispered, the way she does when she's cornered, "Mia, baby. We thought you'd be okay with it. Ava needed a place. You've always been the understanding one. Understanding? Their code word for doormat. I stood slowly, letting my chair glide instead of scrape. Every move calm, deliberate. The kind of calm that makes people nervous. Ava finally spoke. So what now? You're gonna destroy everything over one signature. I looked straight at her. The girl who got everything handed to her. The one my parents bent rules and morals for. The one they just spent my entire future on. No, I said. I'm going to fix everything. Ethan laughed, but it sounded forced. By backing out? You wouldn't dare. Mom will cut you off for good. I smiled a little. She already did. The fan ticked faster, like it was counting down the last seconds of their control. I walked over to the bookshelf by the window, dusty pictures, old trophies, and pulled out a slim black envelope I'd hidden months ago. Thick paper, embossed seal, unmistakably official. I set it gently on the table. Mom froze. Ava leaned forward. Ethan took a half step back. What is that? Ava whispered. I tapped the envelope. Proof of the purchase I actually made. Mom's jaw locked. Mia, what did you do? While they were busy stealing my money to buy Ava a condo, I'd been doing something else. I opened the envelope and slid out a much thicker, heavier set of documents. Their faces went white the second they saw the gold seal on top. That wasn't a bank stamp. That was the City Housing Authority. I pulled out the first page, watermarked, expensive paper that barely bends. Header. Full ownership certification, Unit 904. Ethan frowned. Unit 904, that's not the condo we. No, I said softly. It's the one right above it. Ava's cheeks went red. You bought a condo? With what money? I let the truth settle warm in my chest. With the savings you thought you took. Mom shook her head, confused. We drained your account. It was empty. I nodded. The account you could see was empty. Then I tapped my new deed. My real money. The money I actually earned was in a private investment account you never knew existed. Ethan's smug mask cracked. You hid money from your own family? I tilted my head. You don't hide things from family. You protect them from thieves. Dead silence. Ava grabbed the papers with shaky hands, flipping through. This says paid in full, solely in your name, already registered. Yes, and yes. Mom collapsed back into her chair like someone yanked her spine out. But that wasn't even the best part. I placed one final document on the table. Ava stared at it like it was radioactive. Ethan leaned in first. Heading, Building Access and Management Authorization. Mom frowned. Ava's breath caught. I sat back down and let the moment sink in. Unit 904, I said quietly, comes with top-tier owner privileges. I tapped the page. That means I control the rental waiting list, maintenance approvals, and most importantly, final veto power on every new occupant application for the entire building. Ava's lips parted. Ethan finished it for her, voice cracking. She can block anyone from moving in, including us. Mom gripped the table edge. Mia, Ava's application is still pending. I smiled, small and calm. Exactly. Pending my approval. Ava slammed her hand down, panic breaking through. You wouldn't. I already told everyone I'm moving in. I posted the pics. I raised an eyebrow. Of a place you don't legally own yet? Ethan stepped forward, anger and fear fighting in his eyes. So this is your big plan? Hold it over our heads forever. I met his stare until he looked away first. No, I said softly. I'm letting the truth do that for me. Then I pulled out the very last page. Their faces drained of color instantly. Because this one wasn't about what I owned. It was about what they stole. Bold letters across the top. Unauthorized withdrawal investigation, preliminary report. Mom's hand flew to her chest. Ethan froze. Ava stumbled back a step. Where did you get that? Mom whispered. From the bank manager, I said, perfectly calm. The same one who called me the second someone tried to access my private account. Ava shook her head hard. We never touched that one. We only took from the main account. Exactly, I said. Trying to get the rest triggered an automatic fraud review. Ethan swallowed. Review of what? I turned the page so they could read it. Every withdrawal you made pretending to be me. Mom's voice broke. Mia, we're your family. Family doesn't forge signatures, I said gently. The bank had already ruled the money used for Ava's condo was taken illegally. The whole purchase was frozen, pending my official statement. I closed everything back into the envelope. Tomorrow morning the housing authority sends me the final decision, I said. Whether Ava's application is permanently denied or whether this fraud case goes public and official. Their whole world tilted. And for once, the choice was mine. That night I didn't sleep. Not from fear, from relief. I sat on the tiny balcony of my rented room. Cool air on my face, city lights blinking below like they were cheering me on. Almost free. By morning, 2 emails waited in my inbox. One from the housing authority, one from the bank's fraud team. I got ready slowly, carefully, like someone who knows today changes everything. When I walked into the living room, they were already there. Mom's eyes puffy, Ethan pacing, Ava trembling. Mom spoke first, voice small. Mia, we messed up bad. Please don't destroy your sister's future. I looked at the woman who always protected everyone except me, who mistook my quiet for weakness, who thought I'd shatter instead of stand up. I sat down across from them. I'm not here to destroy anyone, I said softly. I'm here to stop you from destroying me. Ava wiped her eyes. What did the housing authority say? I opened the first email and turned my phone around. Application rejected. Ethan cursed under his breath. Mom covered her mouth. Ava just stared, broken. But there's more, I said, opening the second email. The fraud case, they closed it. Mom blinked. Closed? Why? I looked at her, really looked at her, and answered with my own voice for the first time in years. Because I told them I'm not pressing charges. Ava burst into messy, relieved sobs. Ethan stared like he didn't recognize me. Mom whispered, why? After everything we did, why show mercy? I stood, sliding all my documents, mine, truly mine, back into my bag. Because I'm done teaching you lessons through pain, I said gently. From now on, you'll learn through consequences. I walked to the door and paused just once. When you tried to take everything from me, you actually showed me what I already had. The morning sun hit my face as I stepped outside, bright, warm, and completely mine. They took my savings. They took my trust. They even tried to take my future. But without meaning to, they taught me how to build one that no one can ever touch again.